Most people over 60 assume that new headaches, memory slips, or small changes in balance are just normal parts of aging. But what if one of these changes wasn't just aging? What if it was your brain trying to warn you? Here's something many seniors never hear. The earliest signs of a brain tumor are usually subtle, quiet, and easy to dismiss. And yet recognizing them just a few days or weeks earlier can completely change the outcome. So let me ask you a question. Have you felt something recently that didn't quite feel normal, but you shrugged it off because you thought, it's probably nothing? Today, you're going to learn the 8 early warning signs of a brain tumor that seniors often overlook. Signs that could save your life or the life of someone you care about. And I encourage you to stay until the very end, because the last sign is one of the most ignored symptoms in people over 60, even though it is one of the most serious. Before we begin, remember that this video is for education, awareness, and early detection guidance. It's not for diagnosis. Most people who experience the symptoms in this video do not have a brain tumor. But early awareness is an advantage, one that many seniors never get. And that's why you're here. So take a deep breath, relax, and let's walk through this together in a gentle and reassuring way. You deserve clarity, knowledge, and peace of mind. Let's start with something that sounds ordinary but can be deeply significant. Headaches. Most seniors experience headaches once in a while, usually because of stress, poor sleep, dehydration, or eye strain. But the kind of headaches associated with early brain tumors are different. They're subtle at first. They may not feel extremely painful. Instead, they tend to show up more frequently than usual, often growing in intensity over days or weeks. One of the most overlooked clues is morning headaches, pain or pressure that feels worse after waking up. This happens because lying flat increases pressure inside the skull. Another sign is headaches that don't respond to your usual remedies, whether it's rest, hydration, or your normal pain reliever. Some people describe it as a deep pressure rather than a sharp pain, almost like a heaviness inside the head rather than a typical headache. And here's what's truly tricky. Many seniors assume these headaches are caused by blood pressure issues, arthritis medications, or eye strain. So if you're experiencing headaches that are new, different, or gradually worsening, it's worth paying attention. Especially if the headaches are accompanied by nausea, dizziness, or changes in balance. But even if none of this applies to you, keep listening. Because the next sign is even easier to ignore. Memory changes. Now, we all know memory changes come with age. Forgetting where you placed your glasses, struggling to recall a name, or walking into a room and forgetting why, you're not alone. Those things are part of normal aging. But brain tumor-related memory changes look different. They show up suddenly, unexpectedly, and sometimes intensely. You might find yourself forgetting simple things that you normally remember easily. Maybe you ask the same question twice without realizing it. Maybe you struggle to recall something you knew just yesterday. Or maybe you begin to feel confused about everyday decisions that used to be simple. These kinds of changes are not about being absent-minded. They're about the brain struggling to process information efficiently. Tumors, even small ones, can interfere with the frontal or temporal lobes, areas responsible for memory, judgment, and decision-making. And here's a key detail to look for. Memory changes that happen quickly, over days or weeks, not slowly over many years. Another clue is when loved ones notice it before you do. Often, brain-related memory changes are more obvious to those around us. So if someone close to you has gently told you that you've been more forgetful lately, consider that a sign worth acknowledging. Not with fear, but with awareness. Because knowledge empowers you. Now, let's move on to a symptom that often gets blamed on joint pains, aging bones, or fatigue, even though it could be telling you something far more important. Balance problems or unexplained clumsiness. Many seniors naturally experience changes in mobility. Knees stiffen. Reflexes slow. Muscles lose some strength. But the balance problems linked to brain tumors are different from normal aging. They feel more sudden, more unusual, and more unpredictable. Maybe you start walking as if you're slightly leaning to one side. Maybe you bump into the side of a doorway when you didn't mean to. Maybe you reach for an object and miss it by just a little. Or maybe you've started feeling unsteady while standing still, as if the ground beneath you shifted. These are signals that the part of the brain responsible for coordination, called the cerebellum, may not be functioning normally. One very subtle sign is grabbing onto furniture or walls more often without consciously realizing it. Another is difficulty doing simple tasks that require coordination, like fastening buttons, holding a cup steady, or picking up coins. Seniors often dismiss these symptoms as arthritis, neuropathy, or just having a slow day. But when balance changes happen suddenly, or worsen over a short period, it's worth paying attention. Still, even if your balance feels perfectly fine, don't relax just yet. The next sign can appear even when everything else seems normal. Vision changes. Many people over 60 already wear glasses or experience age-related vision changes like cataracts. But brain tumor-related vision problems show up differently. You might start seeing double, not all the time, but occasionally. You might struggle to focus, even with the right prescription. You might notice blurred vision, but only in certain directions. Or you might lose part of your visual field, like not noticing things on the left or right side. Some seniors report feeling like a shadow is blocking part of their vision. Others say it seems like their peripheral vision has narrowed, almost like looking through a tunnel. And here's where many people get confused. These changes often come and go. They're not consistent. Sometimes vision is fine in the morning, then blurry in the afternoon. Or it's clear when you're sitting but blurry when you stand. These fluctuations are exactly why people overlook them. But tumors near the optic nerve or visual processing centers can cause pressure that interferes with sight. If you've had recent changes in your glasses prescription, especially more than once in a short period, it may be worth asking whether the problem is truly your eyes, or something deeper. Let's go to the next sign, and this one is emotional, and often misunderstood. Personality or behavior changes. The frontal lobe of the brain is responsible for personality, judgment, and emotional control. When a tumor affects this area, the changes can be surprisingly subtle at first, but noticeable to those around you. Maybe you find yourself getting irritated easily, even at small things. Maybe you're losing interest in hobbies that used to bring joy. Maybe your motivation feels different. You want to do things, but you don't feel the energy or drive. Maybe you've become quieter, more withdrawn, or less expressive. Or maybe the opposite. You feel more impulsive, more talkative, or more restless. These changes are often written off as stress, aging, or just having a mood. But emotional shifts that appear suddenly or grow more intense over weeks can indicate changes in brain function. Family members often notice this first. Not because anything is wrong with you, but because the brain influences everything: thoughts, emotions, reactions, energy levels. The good news is that when these changes are identified early, treatment becomes much more effective. But before we talk about treatment, let's continue. The next early warning sign is something many seniors experience but rarely connect to the brain. Speech difficulties. Tumors that affect language areas of the brain can disrupt communication in subtle ways. You may know exactly what you want to say, but the words don't come out as smoothly. You might pause more often, searching for the right word. You might mispronounce words you've said your whole life. You might start a sentence and lose your train of thought halfway through. Or you might listen to someone speaking and find that it takes a moment to process what they said. These moments can feel frustrating, embarrassing, or simply strange. But you're not alone. Many seniors experience this symptom and assume it's due to stress, tiredness, or normal aging. However, brain-related speech issues usually come on gradually but noticeably. They may happen occasionally at first, then more frequently. Some people describe it as their brain feeling slow, even though their thoughts are perfectly clear. Others say it feels like their mouth can't keep up with their brain. If you ever feel this way, it doesn't necessarily mean something serious is wrong, but it is a sign worth acknowledging. Because the next warning sign is one of the strongest reasons to get checked immediately. Weakness or numbness in the limbs. One of the clearest signals of a possible brain tumor is weakness or numbness on one side of the body. Maybe your left arm feels slightly heavier. Maybe your right leg feels weak or unsteady. Maybe you drop objects more often than usual. Or maybe you feel a tingling, pins and needles sensation that doesn't go away. These symptoms happen because the brain sends signals to the body through specific pathways. When something interrupts those pathways, the communication becomes distorted. But here's what's tricky. Many seniors assume that numbness or weakness is caused by diabetes, poor circulation, or arthritis. And sometimes it is. But when weakness affects only one side, or when it worsens quickly, it becomes a red flag. If you find yourself struggling to lift something that used to be easy, Or if your hand feels clumsy for no reason, don't ignore it. It's your body's way of sending a message. And now, we've reached the 8th sign, the one many seniors dismiss until it becomes severe. Seizures. Now, when most people hear the word seizure, they imagine dramatic shaking and loss of consciousness. But seniors often experience seizures differently. Small seizures can look like staring spells, brief moments where you zone out and don't respond. They can look like twitching in one part of your body, such as your hand, arm, or face. They can feel like sudden confusion, a wave of dizziness, or a strange sensation that you can't describe. Some seniors report momentarily smelling something odd, hearing a buzzing sound, or experiencing a sensation of déjà vu or panic without explanation. These are called focal seizures, and they are one of the strongest indicators that something in the brain is misfiring. Many people mistake these symptoms for anxiety, low blood sugar, fatigue, or even mini-strokes. But seizures should never be ignored. Even a small one is a reason to seek medical help immediately. And the important thing to remember is this: seizures are not always dramatic, but they are always meaningful. Now that you know the 8 signs, headaches, memory changes, balance problems, vision changes, personality shifts, speech difficulties, limb weakness, and seizures, let's take a moment to talk about something essential: when to seek help. If any of these symptoms appear suddenly, worsen quickly, or appear in combination, speak with your doctor. Most of the time, these symptoms have harmless explanations. But getting checked ensures peace of mind. Doctors can perform neurological exams, imaging tests, and evaluations that identify the cause. And here's what many seniors don't realize: early detection can lead to treatments that are less invasive, more effective, and far more successful. Before we end, it's important to talk about prevention and protection. While not all tumors can be prevented, keeping your brain healthy matters. Stay active. Move daily. Protect your sleep. Eat foods that reduce inflammation: berries, nuts, leafy greens, fish, turmeric. Keep your blood pressure controlled. Stay mentally engaged. Read, listen to music, learn new things. Small lifestyle choices add up, especially after 60. You have the power to protect your brain every single day. Let's quickly recap the 8 early signs. 1. Persistent or unusual headaches. 2. Sudden memory problems or confusion. 3. Difficulty with balance or unexplained clumsiness. 4. Vision changes like blurriness or double vision. 5. Personality or behavior changes. 6. Trouble speaking or finding words. 7. Weakness or numbness on one side of the body. And 8. Seizures, even mild ones. These signs do not mean you have a tumor, but they do mean you deserve clarity, reassurance, and support. And now, I want to speak directly to you. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to Senior Health Affairs. Every week, we create simple, clear, life-changing health videos to help you stay strong, safe, and independent after 60. And if you know someone who is over 60, share this video with them. It may give them the knowledge they never knew they needed. Finally, let me ask you one last question. Which of these signs surprised you the most? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And remember, your health is your greatest gift. You deserve to understand it, protect it, and stay in control of it. Thank you for watching, and take good care of yourself.